Welcome to the SCLS podcast series, powered by Fortinus Events. SCLS is a global platform where logistics, procurement, and fulfillment leaders unite to shape the future of supply chain excellence. Join our conversations with industry pioneers and disruptors as they reveal the strategies and innovations moving the world forward.
Welcome to the Fortinus Events Global Podcast Series. We are here with a special podcast edition for the third annual Supply Chain and Logistics Summit East Africa. I am Farida Maria Abbas, and today we are joined by Emily Okonjo and Gladys Kiarie. Emily Okonjo is a highly experienced supply chain professional with over 14 years hands-on managerial skills spanning procurement, logistics, warehousing, facilities, administration, archives, operations, accounts, and finance. She transforms operational supply chains to strategic value-oriented units for efficiency and impact in dynamic organizations. Her experience in these areas spans multiple industries ranging from construction, shipping, telecommunications, and financial sectors. She is currently the head of procurement at Stanbic Bank, Kenya, and South Sudan, where she recently transformed the procurement function from being a cost center to a unit driving strategic value, rewriting the entire playbook for strategic sourcing across Standard Bank Africa. We welcome you, Emily.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, now about Gladys. Gladys Kiarie is a supply chain professional with over 10 years of experience spanning across FMCG multinational, distribution, and most recently in the chemical industry. She is currently working as a supply chain leader at Ecolab. She has accumulated valuable experience in supply chain management disciplines such as sales and operations planning, warehouse and logistics operations, customer service, cost management, and loss analysis. She has managed international supply chains by sourcing from over 20 countries and shipping into markets within sub-Sahara Africa region. This has helped sharpen her operations management skills and people management by leading both inter-country and cross-functional teams. She is also passionate about building strong teams through mentorship and coaching. Today, we welcome you both and thank you for joining us ahead of your participation at SCLS EA.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Farida.
babe.
Looking forward.
Thank you.
Okay, so as we start, let me introduce to our audience what we will be talking about today. We will be focusing on the rising influence of women in East Africa's supply chain and logistics sector, exciting innovations shaping the region's supply chain future, the Women in Supply Chain Impact Award at this year's SCLSEA Summit, driving a more gender inclusive growth in this field. So, starting uh, with knowing about both of you, we will start with understanding your journey so far. So, can you share your career path and what drew you to supply chain and logistics? Gladys?
Thank you very much, Farida. So, I studied electrical engineering for my undergraduate degree. But the more I interacted with the real engineering work during my internships, the clearer I got that this was not what I envisioned for a lifelong career. So, when I graduated, I was applying for anything but engineering jobs. I stumbled upon an internship advertisement for a distributor logistics team leader with one of the multinationals in the country. I went through the job description, literally Googling the meaning of the terms and what a logistics leader should do. That was my introduction to a supply chain career path. I love that every day presented a new challenge and a new learning opportunity. It's still true to this day, and that's what keeps me excited in this career path. It, however, helps that there are lots of skills I gained from my engineering, like critical thinking and problem solving skills that I drew from.
It's great to know about that, Gladys. Okay, now we'd like to know about you, Emily.
Okay, thank you, Farida. So I'd say that my initial background was actually in accounting. So I went to the university and I studied Bachelor's of Commerce in Accounting. That's what I graduated with. And the first 9 years of my life, I actually did work in accounting and finance. I patronized a lot of areas of finance in accounts payables, accounts receivables, credit control, line accounting, inventory control, handling of petty cash. And as I went through these, I actually did struggle because I didn't have an interest in actually studying accounting. When I was in school, I was actually a more science oriented student. And I even applied for a computer science course, but the Joint Admission Board in the country actually admitted me to studying Bachelor's of Commerce. So, with that, I really felt like I was lost and I didn't really have an interest in building a career in this place. So, I shared this with my mentor, and my mentor actually guided me and told me, hey, look, you have had a lot of experience in the P2P process of the organization. Why don't you move up in the chain such that you move from accounts payables and you move up to the beginning where it starts in procurement, supply chain, and logistics. And I thought that was a good idea because that was going to give me an opportunity not to lose the experience that I had earned in the 9 years I had worked. So I went back to school. I did my MBA in procurement and supply chain management. I enrolled for my CIPS papers, and I also joined the Kenya Institute of Supplies Management. So with that, when an opportunity came in the organization where I was working, I was able to have a lateral move from mainstream finance and accounting to procurement and supply chain, and that is how I landed myself in this profession. And I'm actually glad I got that guidance from my mentor, and it was just the best move over 10 years later. Thank you.
It's great to know about both of your journey. Kind of similar, coming from an engineering background, coming from accounting background, and going into supply chain. So that's pretty interesting to know. Now, talking a bit about the industry impact and trends, this question is for Emily. How are women shaping supply chain and logistics in East Africa differently today?
Okay, well, what I can say is the industry is largely shaped a lot by the industry leaders in supply chain in East Africa. So we have the Kenya Institute of Supplies Management, we have the Logistics Board of Kenya, and we also have the CIPS UK, the Kenya chapter. We also have other advocacy and support organizations such as the IFC Sourcing to Equal program, which has made some influence in this space. So I can say that we have these bodies have made a lot of deliberate efforts to support women in supply chain. So the impact is we have more and more women participating in the supply chain industry. Women are breaking barriers through increased participation in leadership, in entrepreneurship, in into innovative solutions, particularly in areas like informal trade and a lot of sustainable practices. So, in terms of leadership, if I was to give a case study, for example, the institute, the governing institute, the Kenya Institute of Supplies Management Leadership Council has two women. We have Marianne Karanja and we have Jennifer Njiru. This was something that was not there before, but now you have more women stepping up in the leadership space. The Logistics Board of Kenya also has women leaders in their influence in their space who are influencing decisions, shaping visions, they're advocating, they're mentoring, and they're coaching women in growing within the industry. This also applies to the CIPS UK Kenya chapter that also has women in the leadership sector. And I'd mentioned to you some of the key areas where we have women actually are standing out within this industry. We have Marianne Karanja. She's one of the top leaders in the supply chain industry. She's actually the head of supply chain at Safaricom, and Safaricom being the largest and the most profitable private sector organization in East Africa. It's interesting to find that there's a woman who's playing within the supply chain space and influencing heavily the profitability of the organization. We have Yasmin Chandani. She was recognized as one of the top 30 women leading innovation in Africa's supply chain with a focus on health supply chains. We also have Evelyn Shigoli. She's the General Manager, Supply Chain Management at Kenya Airports Authority. We have Victoria Njunu, the Director of East and Southern Africa. at Quinn and Nagel, one of the biggest logistics organizations within the region. We have Gloria Ndekei, the executive director of KEPSA Foundation. We have Mary Ngechu, the director of SMEs and startups at KEPSA. We have Catherine Kangangi, the head of procurement and at Kenya National Highways Authority. We have Hilda Mora, the founder of Ezesha. We have June Chepkemei, managing director of Kenya Investment Authority. We have Phyllis Wakiaga, the CEO of Kenya Association of Manufacturers. And of course, we have myself as the head of procurement at Stanbic Bank, and my colleague here, Gladys Kiarie, who is also leading at Ecolab. So I can say that these women that we are mentioning have not only excelled in their roles, but they're also actively involved in activities that promote a lot of diversity, inclusion, advancement of women in the supply chain field. And their work is very crucial in driving the process and innovation within the industry. So I think that's really what I can touch on in terms of what women are doing within this space. I can focus on leadership. Thank you.
It's great to know in such detail about how the women are impacting supply chain in East Africa. And yeah, so next we move on to the question for Gladys. What are the key trends or innovations that excite you in this sector, Gladys?
Thank you so much, Farida, and a big mention to Emily. Thank you so much for what you're doing for the industry before we move on to the innovations. So yes, a lot of exciting things are happening in the industry. And of course, a lot of it is driven by the technology advancement that's happening globally. One of them being AI and machine learning. And we are starting to see this being used in different sections of the supply chain, whether it's in predictive analytics during demand forecasting, whether it's route optimization, where we are being able to reduce the time taken to schedule deliveries, getting what are the best route planning to do, and to make sure that we improve on our service delivery at the optimized cost. There's also productivity improvement. So one of the things that is usually the biggest cost factor in the supply chain is productivity. So we're being able to optimize our productivity. Supply chain professionals can now focus on adding real value versus using their time to focus on crunching data, interpreting it, and actually presenting it as well. Things like Internet of Things, where you're actually able to track goods in real time and monitor key metrics like temperature, especially in this region where logistics is more complicated with long lead times and changing environments. So these are things that are coming up, and it's up to us to be able to take advantage of them, adapt very fast, and benefit ourselves and also the organizations that we serve.
Yeah, agreed. AI is definitely playing a big role as we see in each industry, and in supply chain, it is booming. And we see that East Africa also has a big scope for the AI boom in supply chain, and it will definitely be very beneficial. That is what the recent studies also suggested. So thank you so much, Emily. Sorry, thank you so much, Gladys. Just okay. Next is a question for both of you. So, initiatives like Women in Supply Chain Impact Award at SELSEA 2025 are gaining momentum. From your perspective, how do such awards actually transform the industry? On a personal level, what would recognitions like this mean to women leaders in this space? For Gladys?
Yes, thank you, Farida. So I think the first thing is that it's going to highlight supply chain as a viable career because growing up, to be very honest, it was never in my radar, right? It was always viewed as a very male-dominated career. And I didn't see any women leaders or, people who had gone through this supply chain as a career and succeeded in it. So when we have this kind of awards, it brings it up as a viable career option for younger women who are looking at joining the field. The other one I would say is that it actually will motivate the women in the industry because what happens as a supply chain professional, your work is to make sure everything moves like a well-oiled machine. And most attention that we get is when things actually don't go well. So such awards, they actually highlight the value that we bring. There'll be a great encouragement to all in the industry. And women will definitely feel encouraged to push forward and continue adding value to the organizations that they serve.
Right. We all agree with your point of view on that. Moving on to Emily.
Okay, thank you. So I believe I agree with what Gladys says, and maybe just to add on to, because the key item here is recognition, and what recognition does is it improves performance. I mean, the moment these women are recognized, they would actually be encouraged to not only maintain being at the top, but to also continue doing more to be able to stay at the top. The other issue is a greater adaptability. People who are recognized will actually want to continue thriving in whichever areas where they have been recognized, or maybe even to do a little bit more within the industry. And then another thing is increased agility and responsiveness. Yeah. So this recognition actually gives these individuals who have been recognized the ability to be able to be more responsive to bringing solutions, to addressing challenges, to giving the necessary support that can be able to upscale the industry from where it is to the next level. And of course, there's a lot of also knowledge sharing that happens whenever there's a recognition. People get to know and realize that if indeed if you do something like this, you actually can be recognized for it. If you add this kind of value, you can actually be recognized for it. And therefore it also teaches others, it encourages others, and gives others guidance on how they too can play well within their various spaces to also earn these recognitions in future. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the next question for Gladys. What are the biggest obstacles for women in supply chain and logistics in East Africa, and how can they be addressed?
Farida, there's quite a number of challenges, to be honest. And here I'll respond, keeping in mind the very many supply chain professionals who are not in offices, but actually in the manufacturing floors, in the actual logistics and transportation work of the supply chain. And one of the things that we need to be aware of is that there's limited access to opportunities for women in majority of the tasks in the supply chain. Majority are manual, they're traditionally coded as male tasks. And most of the time, even when during hiring, women are not an option. So we need to take advantage of new age equipment and technology in the region and open up more opportunities to women. The other thing that is very key to this is advocacy. So the environment that we work in, is it a safe working condition, both physical and psychological safety? Because for women to thrive in the supply chain, they need to feel safe and they need to be empowered. Things like flexible work arrangements and policies, so long hours. We know that in supply chain, there's a lot of long hours, shift hours, women having to work night shifts, long travel hours. What are organizations going to do about this? And this is what an organization like She Logistics is trying to initiate in the region, where they're going to be very key in the advocacy work to accelerate this kind of agenda. And last but not least is on mentorship. So we cannot understate the important role that mentorship plays. It's good that even Emily has mentioned a number of female leaders that have really thrived in this industry. So it's important that we continue to mentor others so that we send the lift down for more women to join the field, but not only join, but also thrive in it. So these are the three things I think we need to be very clear about and work towards.
Yes, we agree, and we see so many successful women in supply chain, as named by Emily, and the two examples that are sitting right in front of me. So it is only time that people start paying more attention to the needs and empowerment and encouragement that women need for entering and thriving in this field. Very rightly said, Gladys. Moving on to Emily. What policies or corporate practices would help more women thrive in this field?
Okay, thank you. So for this, I'd probably talk about it in two dimensions. One is by organizations creating policies that ensure that there are equal opportunities for both men and for both women. This is when it comes to recognition, when it comes to award, when it comes to promotion, when it comes to coaching, when it comes to training, when it comes to leadership opportunities within the organization. Both men and women should be given equal opportunities when it that pertains to their experience, pertains to their knowledge, that pertains to actually what they have actually done to earn those positions. And in the other aspect I'd speak about is generally women are caregivers. You find that women, apart from being holding their positions in the office, they are mothers at home, they're probably mothering children. Sometimes women have a sick relative in the house. Women generally even take care of not only their children but also their husbands and sometimes also other relatives that women live with. This weight is normally carried more by the women more than the men in the family setting. Therefore, it will be good for organizations to have some considerate policies that actually enable the woman to be able to still handle their caregiving roles and still be able to thrive in the workplace. So one of them is for women who have recently had children, they should be able to get reasonable maternity leaves. There are certain organizations that limit the maternity period for which women can actually stay out of work after having the children. The other one is the availability of lactation rooms that can enable both pregnant and also women who have recently had children to be able to have a space where they can nurse themselves. The other one is the issue about considerate working hours. Women who have recently had children and are still breastfeeding their children should be able to work lesser hours in the office so as to allow them be able to have a balance of bringing up the young one and also being able to perform in the office. The other one is also the issue of flexi working hours to also allow women to be able to have programs such as working from home so that a woman can be able to multitask, be able to run their natural caregiving purpose and also be able to thrive in the office. Thank you very much.
Yeah, while in my personal opinion, I do believe that all these roles are very necessary to women and have been traditionally carried forward. While there are many responsibilities that corporate have and need to take care of, there are certain that I would say even families should be taking care. Not all the pressure of a family and kids should come on a women or a mother, but yes, I think both the parties need to be more considerate to women for them to thrive actually. Yeah, thank you so much, Emily. Those pointers were definitely helpful. Next question is for both of you. What advice would you give to young women considering a career in supply chain and logistics? Gladys?
I think I will take the question. Yes, I will take the question. So, the advice that I will give young women considering a career in supply chain is one, I will encourage them to take up the steps that they need to be able to have both their academic and the professional qualifications. This gives somebody confidence to be able to stand up in the first instance. So I would encourage them to go to school, do their first degree. It doesn't matter what degree it is because some of us are from business background. Gladys is from engineering background, but here we are in the supply chain space. After the first degree, make sure you do your academic qualifications. Join the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supplies. Do your qualifications, get your qualifications right. Join the Kenya Institute of Supplies Management, where they have CPRSK. Get your qualifications such that in the first instance, when an opportunity comes, you are found prepared. When organizations are recruiting, they will find you prepared. The next instance is get a mentor. Most of us have gotten to where we are because of mentorship, and mentorship is not something that starts and ends. Mentorship is something continuous. So we were mentored. That is why we are where we are. Therefore, I would encourage the young people who are building a career within the supply chain and logistics space to identify a mentor and work with. Another one I will tell you is in whichever space you are in whatever level you are in, always raise your hand. Whenever there's an opportunity to work in a project, whenever there's an opportunity to put value in something that requires people to volunteer, always raise your hand. Predominantly, you find that men will actually be more willing to volunteer in most of these supply chain and logistics related opportunities more than women do. So I'd encourage the young women to also raise their hand in this in this when these opportunities show up. The last one I talk about is learn, study, and keep learning. Um, Join the professional groups whenever there are opportunities for training organized locally by Kenya Institute of Supplies Management or organized by the Logistics Board of Kenya or that are organized by the CIPS UK. At least those in Kenya, I know they are equivalent international organizations for students who are outside Kenya. But I would encourage them to also participate in these forums, network, learn, know, grow, get to know what others are doing that is making them thrive in those spaces, what others are doing, what others are learning or studying to help them move to the next level. So that's basically in a nutshell what the advice I would give the younger generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. That would inspire and help a lot of women who are looking for a career in supply chain. I would like to ask the same question to Gladys. What advice would you give to young women considering a career in supply chain and logistics?
Thank you, Farida. And I fully agree with the comments that Emily has made. And just to add onto that, first of all, is to tell them that one, it's an exciting career. There's lots to learn, there's lots to experience. And even though it's a demanding career, it's not impossible. It's a rewarding one too. And there are women that have done it and you can do it too. The second thing that I would like to say is be open to many aspects of the supply chain. Don't just stick to one. If you only know logistics, be open to other supply chain work streams, whether it's planning, procurement, manufacturing, supply chain finance, you name it. Whenever given an opportunity, please go for it. The other thing that I would like to say is that you need to be ahead of the learning curve. So currently there's so many changes, so many innovations coming up, and they're being rolled out even faster than they were before. So you need to explore new technologies, explore new solutions, find out what others are doing in the industry through organizations and the networking opportunities that you come across. Be a fast adapter of the same, and it will give you a competitive advantage in this very competitive industry. So that would be my advice to them.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gladys. So these pointers shared by both of you collectively will, help the people who are still in two minds, who feel that probably choosing a career, this, that, or in a dilemma, especially the women, it will help them both. Yes. Okay. So as we move towards the closure of this podcast, I have three quick questions for both of you. So, where do you see women's role in East Africa's logistics sector in next 5 years? Gladys.
First of all, I see more women for sure in the industry with more adaptation of the technology that's coming up. And also, I see more inclusive work environment. So, the more we have women in leadership, the more we'll start having these initiatives be more enforced in organizations, and it will become second to nature to have this kind of work environments, to have very inclusive and flexible work policies that will allow more women to be in the supply chain. So, I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Okay. Similar question to Emily.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I agree with what Gladys has said. And in addition, I'd say that currently we have about 39%. That is what statistics show, that about 39% of the workforce in logistics and supply chain is women. I see this number growing up to maybe from 39% to 60 to 70%, where women will not only be taking up more space in the workspace in this industry, but also leadership roles. Women will be playing more in the sustainability space. Women will be playing more in the entrepreneurship space, the innovation space, the digitization and automation space that has already been mentioned. So that is really where I see us in the next 5 years, over and above what my colleague has mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next question is, what's your go-to productivity hack when everything in the supply chain feels chaotic? Emily.
Yes, and supply chain industry can be very chaotic, and sometimes there arises very unique challenges that you may not have immediate solutions for. But usually, I look back and I do a quick review of to understand the problem statement and to address that problem from its source. And in other instances where there's actually time to actually relook at something, then we go back to the drawing board and do better planning to avoid such challenges coming up in the future. The other one is also the issue of mentorship, coaching, just going back to somebody and ask them, hey, how would you handle such a situation? Or how would you handle such a predicament? Or how have you handled such challenges in the past? I do have some people that I actually do call and reach out to, whom I call my mentors, who are my predecessors in the profession. And apart from this, I also do research. I also do research to also find out what are other organizations doing. Are there case studies of other organizations that have had such challenges, and how did they address them? Not only within the industry, but also over and above, even internationally. So there's that is basically what works for me at the end of the day to be able to hack these challenges. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, those are some really good techniques that people can, because at the time of chaos, everyone is just, running around, actually forgetting the problem statement that you mentioned. The first thing is finding out the problem statement, okay, and then from there you can take it on. And I'm sure Gladys would definitely agree with the mentorship. That is the first thing. Pick up a call, ask a mentor, get a solution. It is super easy. I mean, if you have those kind of mentors in your life, and yeah, that's a real boon. Okay, same question for Gladys.
Thank you so much, Farida. I actually agree with what Emily has said and summarize it quite well. I'll talk more on a personal point of view. And the one thing that I quickly learned once I joined supply chain is that stress management is actually an occupational hazard for this career. So you need to be very well balanced. And that includes eating a well balanced diet, sleeping well, prioritizing rest when you need it, and making sure that you're exercising, because it helps you to be more neutralized in terms of how your emotional and mental state is, and therefore you're able to actually make decisions in a more stable manner. The other thing that I would say that is a hack is my power hour. So basically, I block out 1 hour in the morning where I don't take meetings, and actually is my critical thinking hour. So I look at what is the main problem I need to solve for the day, and that's the time I actually think about it, run the data, and see what are the insights on it before I start my day. My last one is a power walk. So I like using the word power because it's actually what it does to me. It really energizes me. So we are blessed to be in an industrial park where it has a nice walking path. So over lunch hour, I'll take my 20-30 minutes walk. And that does amazing in recentering myself and energizing myself for the next half of the day. So those are my personal hacks. Pick what you think may work for you.
So it is a good mix of balanced information that we have gotten from you all. What Gladys mentioned, having good sleep, good food, good diet, prioritizing rest, all of that would ensure that you do not become a part of the chaos. Instead, you become a part of the solution. And what Emily has mentioned is a path toward finding solutions in chaos. So, yeah, definitely those are relevant in any situation, not just supply chain. I would like to say, because those are relevant in every profession, and even in life in general. So yeah, thank you so much for those insights. And as we wrap up, would you like to share any final thoughts about about what participants can expect at the upcoming Supply Chain and Logistics Summit East Africa? It's the third edition. Emily?
I can go. So I believe in this summit there'll be a lot of learning opportunities. There will be a lot of insights for us to carry home. There'll be a lot of understanding of the trends that are happening in the industry to see how those who are winning in their spaces and what they're doing better, and how other organizations have adopted automation and digitization techniques that are all out here to better bring efficiencies within their supply chains and within the industry. It will also be a very good opportunity for networking, getting to know different people, getting to know the go-to people who can actually help address some of the issues that you're currently dealing with in your various supply chain and logistics spaces. So it will be a very impactful summit, and I will invite us all to actually create time and attend this summit. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Gladys?
Yes, I fully agree with Emily. So I've actually attended the last three summits that we've had. And one thing is that none is ever the same as the other. So there's always new insights to carry home. It's very encouraging to see what others are doing, because what we have is we have people in the government sector, people in the non-governmental sector, people in the corporate sector. So it's a very nice mix of leaders in the supply chain industry, and you get to understand what challenges everyone is facing and what approach they're getting to. So this is a very inspirational space. A lot of the mode of delivery is very nice because there's a mix of speeches, there's fireside chats, there's panelist discussions, and there's a lot of break room sessions where you get to really network and get to know more about the leaders that you're speaking with. So I would advise come. The richness of the experience is with more people and more diverse experiences. So come and join the experience and let's learn from each other.
Thank you. It's super great to know from both of you that you're looking forward to this event, and I'm sure it will also encourage others in the field to join you all. Okay. So thank you, Gladys and Emily, for your time and insights. To our audience, join Gladys and Emily and other experts at the third annual Supply Chain and Logistics Summit East Africa this August 21st and 22nd in Nairobi. Visit our website to register. This has been a Fortinus Events production. Stay tuned for more updates and see you at the SELS EA. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.